up, everybody? Welcome back to this week's episode of Common Sense, the podcast. Super excited to sit down with my good friend with TA right around the corner. This week, you guys get to welcome, pretty much any of you from multifamily already know who he is, but the mayor of multifamily, Mr. Bob Duff. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. I'm glad we got to finally do it.
I've been looking forward to it. We've been talking about it for a long time, and
yeah,
schedules worked out. I'm excited to be here. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be fun.
Hold on to your britches. Is that what they say?
Yeah. Let's get it, man. This is gonna be a good time. I'm looking forward to this.
And we got Biz too.
We got Biz. He tried
with the microphone. I tried to chicken out of a microphone, and Bob would not let it happen. So yeah, we got a mic. We good. So now y'all done messed up. I'm gonna ask all kind of questions.
Yeah. Your number one fan, Mr. Rivas, is already asking, "Where's the jacket?"
Oh, well, you said it was casual. So I had to go casual.
I did. I didn't want him, Jaime, showing up in like a suit or something because I'm just not a suit guy. It's got to be something really special occasion if I'm going to get that dressed up. And although sitting down with the mayor of multifamily is very special, I am a t-shirt and jeans type of person. Like, I do not like getting super dressed up unless I absolutely have to.
Well, I went in between, got Tommy Bahama.
I know. You know what's funny is my wife is making fun of me because I almost wore my like Hawaiian shirt that I got when I was in Hawaii visiting my brother. She's like, "You're not going to really wear that tonight, are you?" And I was like, "I'm thinking about it because I know Bob. Like, I'm really considering this. It might be a good move. Would have been a good move. Sarah was wrong." But yeah, Biz tried to chicken shit out on us, but he's got a mic, so we're going to make him pop in. That way he can ask the good questions too, because sometimes when it's us industry guys, we can get in a real bad habit of using lingo.
Yeah.
Not
and we need
understands.
layman's terms for regular people.
Yeah,
Yes.
and Biz is good about correcting me on that.
Exactly.
So, sometimes we start using these terms and everybody's like, what the hell are you two talking
Reeling
about?
in.
Yes, there you go. There you go.
So, real quick, we're going to start it off because this seems to be everybody's favorite thing to know is what are we drinking, what are we smoking? So, what we're smoking tonight is Bob wanted a Principal... I can't even say this. What's the one with the B on it? Bernardini?
I don't know. We tried to figure that out before.
I can't remember. But yeah, it's off the Koshan line almost. Like I've got the little miniature Koshan, which is this shape here that I'll probably get into. But excellent cigar by Darren Chaffee. That's a good pick. Like I thought you were a more avid cigar smoker when you sent me that request. I'm like, no one ever asked for something that specific because you can't.
I fooled you.
You did. I mean, because like you can't get Principles like everywhere. Like it's a highly curated. It's a boutique cigar. So like you asked for that. I was like, all right, man. Bob
This
really
guy knows. He's a gamer.
Bob knows his stuff. I'm going with Marion, like tipped you off or something like that, and she's like gone to one of like Javier's or something and went in and asked questions. And I was like, he's got set up here. And then I'm also smoking a Principal cigar. This is the new limited edition release of Time to Burn. It's a Maduro wrapper, which is different than the last one was San Andreas, I think. But yeah, this is an excellent cigar. This is probably the fourth or fifth one I've smoked so far. I think Biz smoked his first.
I just had my first one before what I'm about to smoke now, and it was excellent. It was really good.
Yeah. The cool one about this, I'm a watch guy, so like he put these awesome little like antique watch faces.
That's cool.
On the bands, which for those of you, hopefully you can see that.
Yeah, you did it right.
Really
Yep.
cool. They're all super old antique watch faces. So
Darren spares no expense when it comes to his creativity.
Darren doesn't play around.
No.
And he makes really good stuff. So that's what we're smoking on. If you guys have other questions about that or want to talk about different cigars, let us know. And then I'm drinking just some tequila. I don't even remember which one it is because there's a couple guys up here that are running them out of tequila. And then we won't name any names. Not that I'm bitter at all, but
Sounds like you're bitter.
no, not at all. Not at all. My two favorite guys up here drinking all the tequila. And then Bob went with the Angel's Envy Old Fashioned, which Riley up here, if you guys haven't been since they opened up the bar,
Makes a good old fashioned.
he makes a good old fashioned.
He does.
He makes a lot of really good drinks, actually. Him and Jacob are on top of their game. So that's what we're smoking. That's what we're drinking. John Silvis, what's up, man? How are you doing? Good to see you on here. So, Bob, for those that don't know the mayor of multifamily. Tell us a little bit about your background, where you grew up, where you started, and how you got into the industry.
Well, I grew up all over the U.S. My dad was in the military. My mom was corporate J.C. Penney. So all over the United States, landed here in DFW in 1988.
Okay.
Yeah, when J.C. Penney moved their corporate office here.
Yeah.
So that's how I ended up here, and finished up school at North Texas with a hospitality degree, hotel restaurant, and spent the first part of my career in the restaurants, managing restaurants, and that's where I met the love of my life.
Awesome.
Yeah. So she's an awesome person. She's definitely the love of my life. She is incredible.
Yeah, I've only met her briefly, but we run into each other at like Total Wine and stuff like this randomly. It's like, hey, what are you doing here? Hey, what are you doing? It's 3 o'clock somewhere, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So we met at Houston's restaurants. I was a regular, and then she swooped me up, and we've been together ever since. So 32 years.
That's awesome, man.
Two great kids.
Two great kids.
Both of them are awesome. They're just incredible. I'm very, very blessed to have an incredible family.
So how did you get into the multifamily industry?
So
that is impossible to get out of.
I knew you were going to ask that question, so I had to think like way back when it first started. And it first started when I was at Waste Management, and I was running a sales team, and started Whack, John with Whack. Yeah. So John was one of my first customers.
Okay.
Then I moved into national accounts with Waste Management, and Brian Barton with Westdale Asset Management.
Yeah.
He was one of my national accounts. He beat the crap out of me all the time, just trying to get the best he could get.
That
Brian,
doesn't sound familiar.
It doesn't sound like Brian at all. And then this Walden. Lance Dooley, who now has been with TSX or TXG.
I don't know that I know Lance.
So Walden actually became Milestone, then now is.
Okay.
Yeah, so that goes way back.
Yeah.
So they were another one of my national accounts when I started multifamily. So
I was trying to think of who you were with when I first met you, because those of you that don't know, it's not like Bob hops around a whole lot, but everybody comes and steals Bob at some point for a national accounts manager, because he's really good at what he does, obviously.
I just take care of my customers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was a Bear Paint.
I think it
was a Bear Paint. So I ended back up in Maintenance Supply Headquarters. That's really
just 2008, I think, is when I first started at Element.
And that's when I first started with Maintenance Supply Headquarters.
Okay.
Yeah. And when they opened their second branch in Dallas, so they had Houston, and they opened their second one in Dallas. And 08, we all know what happened in 07, 08.
Yeah.
I was going to go back into the waste business, and Kerry Wright, who was over sales for Maintenance Supply Headquarters, cornered me at one of the AAGD Sneaky Pete's out at the lake.
Yeah.
I think it was a volleyball tournament, something like that, and said, hey, no, you're going to come work with us. So it was a blessing in disguise. I had a great time with them. We grew that company to be very, very big, and had a great experience. The biggest part about the best thing that ever happened to me in my life and my career happened then when Kerry said, hey, we've got an opportunity to be on the board at AAGD, and I can't do it because I'm in Houston, and I've asked them to have you on the board and change my career.
So that's something I want to stop and point out here, because when we do have people on here for multifamily, which you guys have asked a lot for, that is the number one thing I can recommend. The thing I said I have not done as good of a job in the last 4 or 5 years is being involved with the associations. Every person that you have heard come on here has explicitly talked about in one shape or another how important that was to their career. Being a part of the associations, being a part of some committees, and being involved.
100%. It will change your life. And it'll advance your career in ways but you have to go in it with the right mindset, and with the servant's heart,
Mm-hmm.
not what's in it for me,
Yeah.
but a true servant's heart, and going it that you want to serve. You're there to serve. So what I did, my kids were they were in young in school, and I just had 3 jobs. Number one, my relationship with the Lord, my family is number one. Number 2, my job. Whatever company, I've always tried to work hard to make good quality companies to partner with and to work for and to serve. And then the association, I made my 3rd job. And I worked just as hard for the association, serving in the association. Community service was my really go-to at the beginning. Tim Mathwig and I partnered, where we were co-chairs for community service. We did that for several years.
Yeah.
And we worked really hard and partnered and really tried to make it fun, engage with all the different management companies. It's amazing how the relationships you can build when you're side by side doing the right thing for the community.
Yeah.
And the regional managers, VPs with big companies will come and bring it's an opportunity for them to bond with their people and bring them into and do something for the community and the association. So it was just life-changing. And I've developed some really, really strong relationships through working and serving in the association.
Awesome. So after Bear, what was the next stop?
Bear. Well, yeah, Bear was great. Our buddies.
We had Mario and Randy together. I tagged
Jaime's online there too. I think.
He better be.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Mario or Randy to start piping in here. I mean, Jaime's already getting in on here.
Great company.
Yeah.
Bear. They were awesome. It's great quality company, great quality products, and then it was an opportunity that someone that I had I'll go back. When I was at Waste Management, I left and went to the largest waste broker, Oakleaf.
Yeah.
And while I was there at Oakleaf, our owner, Jim Barnes, bought this small company down in Florida called Valet Waste. And they were the first persons to buy them. And he said, we're going to take this company nationwide. And that was the beginning of making that thing huge.
Yeah.
Then circle around, I was at Bear for 5 years, and I got a call from Sid McDonald and said, hey, I'm in town, let's go to dinner. And I knew what that meant. So things worked out, and I was at Valet Living. Now it's Valet Living for 4.5 years. Built a great team, great people. Got a crazy lady up in Oklahoma, Deanne, who's just killing it. I mean, there's a lot of great people at every company that I've worked with. And I've always taken the course of I want to do everything I can to help the people around me be better. Yeah. And then help my customers be as successful as they can be.
Well, and that speaks to a lot of the people that you've had on your teams around you. Like, there's a lot of people that have followed you to these different time periods of your life working for these companies too.
And it's I love working with different people, and I love working with learning different things, we're all in the multifamily industry. You can work in a ton of different companies. Yeah. A ton of different services.
You're just not going to live multifamily.
Yeah. But you're right though. Once you get sucked into multifamily, you're in it.
Well, and
forever.
But I mean, I think a lot of that speaks to like what it takes and the relationships you have to build. Being in a sales type role, it takes a while to establish yourself. It does. And to network and build these relationships. And I think that's where some people miss out on it. They worry about just selling this gadget or this thing. Yeah. And it's not really about that. Like you got to get the relationships there. And it's more
the value you're going to bring your customer. Yeah. It's not about your product. Yeah. It's what value are you or your product going to bring them, and how is it going to make them better and more successful.
So how did you get the nickname the mayor of multifamily? Where did this originate? Because I know a couple guys are trying to take credit for this, and I want to make sure we clear the air on
When I go back, from where I can recall, It was Randy Rivers. Is that pretty accurate?
That doesn't surprise me. I mean, like, at all. But yeah, that sounds
so
very.
I got to tell you the story
Randy
of how
Rivers.
it came about. So we were met Randy and Mario, through working together in the industry, and things worked out. They really wanted me to come work with them, and I really wanted to work with them as well. And so we wanted to set up the interview with Matt Wiskowski, who's the VP. And Randy's like, this guy's the mayor. He knows everybody. Every time we go walk through the trade show, we can't get to 10 feet before someone else is pulling him over to talk to him. And so I think that's where the name, the title mayor of multifamily came from, was from Randy.
It's very fitting because, I mean, you were one of those people that I have to give a lot of credit to as well. Like, when I was starting out as a young guy, just learning and finding my way in the multifamily industry and going to the events and being a part of all that and getting on the social committees and stuff like that, like, you really helped provide a lot of direction. You were a great mentor, leadership role of somebody to watch how you did it, because I can't think of a single time. I mean, this is going to be year 16 now at Element. In 16 years of being in multifamily, I can't think of one time I have ever heard somebody say something bad about you.
I appreciate that.
I don't think not one person has had a negative comment, said something bad about you, had a bad experience, or anything. Like, everybody loves Bob. Like, and everybody knows Bob.
Thank you.
I mean, like,
that's good to hear. I appreciate it.
What do you think you've done or tried to do in your career that's led to that? Because, like, that's not an easy feat. I mean, there's somebody you're going to rub wrong along the way, or, something that's not going to go right at one of your jobs or something like that. And there's going to be some hard times and stuff like that here and there.
I'm going to give credit to someone that no one knows.
Okay.
And it goes back when I worked at Waste Management, and I was in national accounts, and my senior national account counterpart was a lady, and she Carlene Adams was her name, and she told me this thing one time when I was really frustrated. I had worked my rear end off for like 2 years trying to get this huge national account. All the work I did, the guy gave it to the current provider and stayed with the current provider, but gave them all my work that I had done to improve what they were doing with their waste and recycle stream. I was so frustrated. I wanted to get on there. I was typing up the email. I was just going to blow him up.
Yeah.
And she looked at me, and she looks at me and she says, is there any good that's going to come out of that? Other than making me feel better.
Yeah. Other than the instant gratitude of hitting send and being like, screw this guy.
Yeah, and I said, no, you're right, they're not. Deleted it. But I've taken that, and it's funny because 2 years later, I was at Oakleaf, and I did the same deal, and I got it. So it's a good thing I didn't send that email.
Yeah.
But I've kind of taken that attitude towards life, and is there any good that's going to come out of it? That if I'm going to say something bad, no, don't say anything bad. You never talk bad about your competition. You never know where you're going to be tomorrow. You never know where someone else that you're working with is going to be tomorrow. Don't burn a bridge. Treat people with respect. It doesn't matter who they are or where they are. And internally, your internal customers are just as important, meaning your accounting team, your marketing team, everybody within whatever company you're working with.
Yeah.
Treat them with respect and gold and say thank you and please. And that goes a long way.
Absolutely. I mean, again, it's building relationships.
So I think I don't know a secret sauce. All I can tell you is what I've done, and it seemed to work out pretty good. So
yeah, I mean, again, like I said at the beginning, like, people come and poach Bob because you're really good at what you do.
Yeah. So the place I am now is awesome.
Yeah, well, we haven't even said that.
We haven't even said it yet.
We haven't even said it. I had to make sure because I was like, man, I think I got this right because I know you just started with them, this summer?
Yeah, this summer in August, the end of August. And it's a group, it's called Chadwell Supply. They're based out of Florida. They started when Maintenance Supply headquarters started. So the history on that is really interesting, and a lot of people might not know this history.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool to talk about. So there was Chad Supply in Florida, and there was Century Supply out of Texas. And they both were the original supply companies for the multifamily industry. And they started about the same time. And they built up, and Chad sold first to Hughes, and then Century sold to Hughes. And then then Hughes ended up selling to HD Supply.
Okay.
So that's where all that business was from Chad and Century. Well, Maintenance Supply headquarters was started by the original CFO from Century and some other folks. They started Maintenance Supply headquarters, and Chadwell was the Chad, started it in Florida, all about the same time. We know the history. Maintenance Supply headquarters ended up selling to Lowe's.
Yeah.
Chadwell never sold. They're a private company. Brothers, family owned, family run, great company. They're faith-based. It's a great organization. And a lot of the people that I used to work with at Maintenance Supply headquarters have moved over and are working with Chadwell. And it is a great organization.
That's
great
really
people.
cool.
And it's a great environment. And they're there to, their whole motto is, we're going to take care of our people who will take care of our customers, and that will take care of the economics of our business. And that's the way they run their business. It's awesome.
And
Great place to work.
National accounts for them.
National accounts, yeah. North Texas. And I work with a lot of the people I used to work with, and have met a lot of really neat people that have worked for Chadwell before, people that came over from HD and from Lowe's and other companies.
Yeah.
They're all the really good people are coming to Chadwell. And it's a great company. Excited to be here.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And TAA right around the corner, so.
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. Back in our favorite place when it's in San Antonio.
Yeah, a couple of weeks we have the Dallas show.
The Dallas show's coming up too. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
You're so busy.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's spin it up a little bit.
All right.
I'm going to ask you a question.
All right.
I'm going to ask Biz, you got to jump in here too, okay?
I love it. He's attacking Biz too, right out the gate.
I was like,
it's a question.
So let's go back to your decades of life.
I got plenty of them. Go ahead.
From when you started drinking at 21, because I'm sure that's when, yeah.
I didn't have my first drink till I was 35.
Oh, there we go.
Seriously.
Okay. So generation, or when did you, generations, what was your go-to drink? And you could pick three. Biz,
three generations or three
different drinks that you drank for 5 years at a time, or
Okay.
consistently, and then we'll see if we can guess what generation it was.
All right. Crown Royal.
On the rocks? Water?
No, Crown and Coke.
Crown and Coke.
Crown and Coke.
You want to guess what decade that was?
That had to be when you first started.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that was early 2000s.
early 2000s.
So my grandfather drank Crown. He used to save up his change in a Crown Royal bag, and me and my little brother when we were kids.
In the purple
We'd
bag?
In the purple bag. He'd hand us a purple bag. We'd dump out the change. We'd look to see how many wheat heads we could find, which ties into the Common Sense logo. If you notice on the Common Sense, it's got the little wheat things on the corner.
Yeah.
It's kind of from a wheat head penny. That's where that kind of came through, kind of a little homage to my grandfather, because that was a special thing for me growing up as a kid. So Crown Royal, which interestingly enough, I later in life wondered why my dad and grandfather talked so highly of Crown Royal when I started drinking bourbons and whiskeys neat and was evolving in my alcohol journey.
Your palate?
Collecting my palate and everything else. I couldn't understand. I'm like, why are they so big on Crown Royal? Well, funny little story not a lot of people know. When Julian Van Winkle's dad sold Pappy, was selling those Pappy warehouses, Crown Royal bought like an entire warehouse of Pappy.
Really?
So they, in the late 70s, early 80s, were blending, part of their blend, they were blending in Pappy. Allegedly, that's what I've been told. That's what I know of that. So they would be like, no wonder your crown was so much better. Like, it had Pappy in it. Like, that's like insane that you had Pappy in there. Like, that's crazy. Like, but all right. Like,
that explains why it's so good.
That explains why it was a different level of good. Like, you know, that's a whole nother thing there.
So I'll go with Biz, you ready?
Oh, go ahead.
So
you might have to reset here, Biz. Looks like it's
the rain.
The rain is starting to have effects here.
There's not. Unfortunately, there's nothing. We're going to be tortured.
We started talking about old decades now, and we're back to the black and white.
It's back.
We're back. Okay, guys.
We're back, yeah.
Apparently, the storm interrupted our.
We have baseball-sized hail on the way. By the way, guys, that's what that thing was. And I went outside to go
I'm
look.
gonna get a new truck after tonight.
Amen. I might be able to get my Raptor after all.
There you go.
Well, hopefully they didn't miss your grandpa your story about Crown.
No, it didn't. It went down afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
So maybe you go next. You name one.
Johnny Walker Black and Water. Yeah.
I can't do scotch.
Yeah.
All right.
It is an acquired taste, and you have to you got to drink it for a period of time, and then once you do,
I'm going. That was your 30s.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I'm going. That was your 30s.
Yeah.
Well, we know Biz
started traveling a lot. I started traveling a lot, and I had an expense account.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Walker Black and Water was the go-to.
Mine is
wasn't
for a while.
Blue Label.
Oof.
You didn't just go blue.
Blue
that sounds like that sounds more Bob Duff to me.
Yeah.
That was above my expense account.
Mine started out, I wasn't lying when I say 35. I didn't start drinking because I just never had a desire to drink. And I was in radio, and that was the age of like Little John. Everything was on the radio, Little John. So my drinking adventure started with Patron. Nice. Straight up Patron Silver. Just didn't know no better. Went to Vegas for my 40th birthday. My brother handed me a bottle and said, drink that. And I didn't think drinking was a big deal. I literally sat there and damn near drank the whole bottle. But I sat the whole time and said, this doesn't affect me. I went to stand up and the room tilted to the left. So I just tilted with it. And yeah, the rest of the weekend was crazy. So then, that's all I drank. Didn't know. It wasn't a big deal. Wasn't drinking a lot. Then I went to Crown Apple. Because it just tasted good. I just regular Crown, now I still really don't drink, but if I do drink, I do like a good tequila.
Roy Rogers does not count. You cannot.
Yeah,
put that
it's
out
right there. It's right there. It's right there. But if I do drink, I do have a nice assortment. Nothing, not even a scotch of comparison to what Garrett's look like. But if I say what I do like on my bar at home, I love Basil Hayden's. I have not the rye though, yuck. But I have Basil Hayden's, and I like the Caribbean cask, just because of the more sweetness taste of that. Even when it's a Scotch, the Glen Levitt or whatever that is, the orange, whatever the orange, that's great.
Yeah.
But so nowhere near you guys.
We're working on his palate. We're working on. We're trying to graduate him here.
Yeah, and I just something that I got 3 hairs on my chest, and I have a drink with him. I have 4 because whatever that stuff he drinks just. It's no joke. So
I've gotten him a few times.
Man, it's good. I mean, it's cool. But you know what? I do like a good red wine.
Yeah.
I do love a good red wine. I will have a glass of wine. I used to do it every night before bed, and then we all started working out and getting healthy. So every couple of weeks, I'll have a glass of red wine to chill out with, and I'm cool. So my journey is not as great as you guys, but hey, at least I'm in there.
My next one I'll throw out there is Armagnac.
I can't even spell that.
Armagnac and 3 Tiers tequila.
You're going to have to tell me about that one. Educate me on that one.
I don't know a lot about that one. That's like, so 3 Tiers is like the bottle of tequila that I keep in my bar for special occasions. Because it is a very expensive bottle of tequila, but damn, it's good. I mean, it's top notch. And then Armagnacs, I can't tell you. It's a lot like a cognac almost. Comes from a certain region over in Europe, and as your palate evolves, it's just one of those things you find that some of these Armagnacs, I mean, they can be 18 to 30 years old.
Wow.
And they just keep elevating, and they're just amazing. Like, it's somewhere between a really, really good bourbon and a really good cognac.
Wow.
You can guess
I'm gonna have to try
decade on that.
We're gonna now?
Yeah.
Yesterday.
No, I would say those are like, that's been my 40s.
Okay.
Like bourbon started a lot more in my 30s. I would have to say like Four Roses single barrels, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I really got into that. That was the first vertical I created on my bar. Was getting all 10 of the individual Four Roses recipes.
Oh, nice.
Still have not done the side-by-side comparison on that. I need to do that sometime.
Have you collected the horses?
Yeah. I do not have every letter, though. Like, I'm not the biggest Blanton's fan. Like, I'm not one of those people that hates on Blanton's.
I think it's overrated.
It's definitely overrated.
People are going to get mad. Sorry.
The trolls are going to start on that one for sure. But Blanton's, it is really good.
Yeah, but it's a little overrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, I'm not going to hate on it. I really like Blanton's straight from the barrel, but that's really hard to get here in the U.S. If you live in Europe or China, you can get that shit all the time. Like, it's super easy to get. But here, straight from the barrel, my older brother was going to Germany for work, like, twice a year at least, and he'd bring me back a bottle. So I had a little stash of it for a while.
Yeah.
But now it's getting pretty low, so.
So, speaking of Europe, have you been?
Yeah.
Yeah. We, I think, let's transition to Marianne's Restaurants.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And she's on here, by the way.
Is she on there?
So, Marianne, I cannot tell you how many times Bob has promised me we're going to set up like a date night with the wives and go to one of your restaurants.
Now it's going to happen.
So now I know it's going to happen because me and Marianne
tape.
became friends on Facebook, so now I can hold you more accountable to that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, we definitely
got
do that.
A selection to go to now.
I know. Now she's opened up a bunch more new ones.
Yeah.
I mean, I follow your posts on that. Like, you always brag and tell me about, like, well, man, you're never going to believe what I just had when I see you at a
this
trade show.
This cake that's like this big.
Yeah.
So Il Bracco. Mm-hmm. And that's 5 years now, I think. That it opened, and right before COVID, then COVID happened. They killed it during COVID.
Yeah.
And that's Highland Park, Northwest Highway in Preston.
Yeah.
And then they opened the other Il Bracco down in Houston, San Felipe, and Post Oak.
That's the last one I think you were telling me about, like she was having to travel a lot because they were really working on that.
She was down there for like a month or two at a time. But she's a super hard worker. She loves what she does. She's very talented, very good at what she does.
And what is it that she does for them?
She is like chief people training person, anything to do with people. She's one of the few executives, a little part of ownership in the company. Western Edition is the name of the company. And she runs all of service, all of training, all of hiring, HR, anything that has to do with people, she does it.
Awesome.
Houston's restaurant was her background, so
okay,
that's where she has all. She's been very, very good at what she does for a long time. So, but she does all the training and all the services is her deal.
How did both of you manage doing these very involved roles in both? I mean, because she's obviously, I can only imagine the amount of time she has to put into that.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm dying with allergies right now. How did you guys both manage that with your family life? Because you've always been in national account roles where you have to travel a lot, your sales, and then obviously I know her role would take up a lot of time. How'd y'all balance all that with the family life? Because, you have a son and a daughter that still had to raise and make good kids.
We've been very blessed. We have a lot of family around us. My whole family lives in around us, and her whole family. I have two brothers and my mom and stepdad, Daryl, Pops. Everybody knows him as Pops. Gigi and Pops. And her mom is here too, and They're all around us. She has, three sisters and a brother, and we're close with all our family. We love them all.
Okay.
So that was very helpful. And Mary Ann's always, we've kind of really tag team, worked together, figured it out, made it happen. We put our kids in Christian school when they were in 3rd grade and 5th grade or 6th grade, something like that. But that was a sacrifice, but well worth it, we think. Our kids are great. My daughter's, she's got her master's in accounting.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's doing fantastic, taking her CPA courses. My son is incredible. He's now in the multifamily industry.
Uh-oh, look out.
So watch out. So if you see a Preston Duff out there, watch out.
He's watching the show. I saw him commenting on here earlier. So.
They say that if you're in it, family just somehow seems to just trickle into the blood. You're like the 2nd or 3rd person to say that. Because I guess last week said the same thing.
Multifamily industry.
Wow.
It's all one big family. So he ran restaurants. He was in the restaurant business. He worked for Kenny's restaurant group, Woodfire Grill.
Kenny's coming on here soon. Kenny's a good friend of mine.
Really?
Kenny's going to be
Mary
coming on
Ann has known Kenny forever.
He is a great dude. I love Kenny's a great dude, man. Like I work out with him. Like
really?
Not as much lately because I've been working out later in the day. He is a 5 a.m.er that is super in his zone, in his thing. I joke with him. Do you remember the baseball player, baseball fan?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, so like, do you remember in like the early 90s, there was a guy for the Cincinnati Reds named Chris Sabo. I think he was a 3rd baseman. I know this because my little brother had to wear those ridiculous 90s like sports glasses that were like, they almost look like swim goggles.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Wrapped around, yeah.
And Chris Sabo was like the first major league player to really kind of like make those cool and was a badass. So Kenny wears those same goggles with his headband and his little wristbands. And man, he does like hardcore circuit training, man. Like he hits just machines and bounces around and he's always going. He used to really get under my skin when we'd be at the end of the workout, because like this time last year is when I started really trying to lose weight and got back into it hardcore. And I was on a really strict diet, and I love pizza. Pizza and Mexican food are like top of my list. And don't tempt me with a good pasta either. But we'd get in the sauna, and Kenny's over here talking about shit he's adding to his menus, and hey man, my Detroit pizza, it's a special on Thursdays only. I spent like 2 years perfecting the Detroit pizza, and I'm sitting here just got done killing myself in a workout, sweating my ass off in the sauna. And he's over here talking about pizza and desserts and new shit he's putting on the menu. I'm like, Kenny, kill it, bro. You're killing me. Like, I'm about to leave here and just go order a whole pizza and like kill my diet for the week.
He was probably putting together the Kenny's East Coast, one of his new restaurants.
He's brutal. He's the nicest guy in the world.
Oh, he's great. He's great.
But yeah, we're working on getting something set up with him to come on here and talk to people, because he's got a great story of how he's impacted the restaurant industry and stuff. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Preston loved working for him. And Mary Ann stole him away.
Yeah.
Because he was the lead bartender at Kenny's Woodfire Grill. And
I just did my birthday dinner there a few months ago.
Great place.
Oh yeah, it's phenomenal. And I love that they don't rush you in there.
Oh yeah.
Like, you wonder why it's so hard to get a reservation in the evenings. But it's because like they'll tell you, and like you can have a reservation, you still might stand around for 20-30 minutes, and it's absolutely
we go sit at the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best place. We love sitting at the bar there.
Well, that's kind of hard to do when you got like whole family with you, but yeah. So what were you like? You were talking about with Mary Ann and travels to Europe.
Oh yeah. So we the first time I went to I had planned we had planned a whole big old thing for her birthday to go to Europe, and we're gonna be there for like 15 days. Yeah, and COVID happened. We had it all planned. COVID happened, so we couldn't go. But we fortunately, with her restaurant group, celebrating the success of El Braco, we went, the executives for the company, and the spouses were allowed to go.
Yeah.
And so we went to Italy for like 5 days and went to 7 different wineries.
Oh, wow.
And stayed in Florence, and it was awesome. And I was not a Europe guy. I'm like, no, I don't really need to go to Europe. It's overrated. It's not overrated. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah. Europeans have some things figured out way better than us, like food. I mean, it's amazing that like they won't import our food because there's so much shit and crap in our food.
And theirs is simple.
And theirs is so simple.
Yeah.
And they keep it that way.
Keep it simple.
And they also have like, I'm in love with Spain. So I haven't been to a lot of places in Europe, but Madrid and Barcelona, man, if I could have my same job over there, I would move there in a heartbeat. Like, they have it so figured out. I mean, the day doesn't really start till like lunchtime.
Yeah.
And like,
but they don't have dinner till like 10.
Yeah.
Or 9 or 10.
And they party till like 2 a.m. They have like siestas, all this crazy stuff. And like, just their pace of life, this, you know, the speed that everything moves at, it just feels so different.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know, it feels so much more natural than like they don't live to work. They work to live.
Yeah.
And like holiday is very important. Like
family.
They get like, between family and holiday, and they get like 3 months of vacation or holiday as they call it.
Yep.
And like, just again, they don't live to work. They work to live.
So where do you like to go? When you're not working, where do you like to go? What do you guys do? What's your like hobby, or do you?
Man, we're kind of homebodies. We've spent a lot of time making our home a place to entertain, and that is like our own little oasis.
Overlooks Grandscape.
Kind of overlooks Grandscape, and I did my backyard the way I wanted to do it, you know, and just can cook out, entertain. I built a pretty nice bar in the house that, you know, don't really have to go anywhere. If the weather's nice, you know, sit out on the patio by the fire pit and waterfall and just kind of smoke a cigar and enjoy just, I mean, you know how it is when you're in sales all day long. I mean, you're running and gunning and, you know, trying to make things happen and solving problems. So, you know, most of the time unwinding. Like, we really like to go out and eat. Like, we probably need to do a lot less of that because we go out all the time, or we Uber Eats a lot too. Although I really do love to grill. Yeah. Man, we try to mix it up a lot. What's the go-to? I'm really liking Media a lot lately. Yeah. Media has been a little spot we've been hitting a lot lately. I'm trying to think what else we did. I don't know I think it's called JR's now. JR something. It used to be Cathedral. Okay. Over off like Razor and Preston. We really like Javier's.
Yeah. We love Javier's.
Davio's we were a really big fan of. D. Lincoln's we're a big fan of. The Monarch Stag. We're really open. I mean, we try a lot of different things. Big into sushi as well. Idoku is a place we really like. Sushi Marquee. So we kind of go over. What about you guys?
We all like sushi too. Yeah, Preston really loves sushi.
Yeah.
But we all enjoy sushi. Abigail not quite as much. But Marianne's new restaurant down in Houston called Balboa Surf Club, and it's right there in the same parking lot at San Felipe and Post Oak. Mm-hmm. They have a sushi bar. They got the whole sushi menu, and it's.
What's really the new one? My wife, I made a fatal error. Like, my wife's not the biggest seafood person. She's really into that, but she does like some of the specialty rolls. But sashimi, out on.
Oh, really?
Right?
Not just really.
No. She wants the fancy.
She won't pick
roll.
a piece of fish up and put it in her mouth.
No. Funny though, her new favorite dish is toro, which that's like the belly of the tuna, I believe, if I'm saying this right. Oh man, we're getting like the warnings all going off here. We're risking our lives for the podcast now. So, tornado warnings. Awesome.
Oh, good. We're in a bunker though, so
yeah, we're in the safe room here at ICC, so I think we're good. So she loves toro, right? Like I'm like, that's really raw. Like that's all right. And the chef's special was like 2 pieces of like the freshest stuff they had.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, maybe tonight's the night to try that. So I order it. Big mistake. It almost killed our whole night. Like the little bit of fishiness on anything, and she is Dunsky.
Oh.
So yeah, I don't remember which one she tried, but like yeah, that pretty much killed sushi night after that. So we stick to the specialty rolls and toro now.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And yes, Brian, the back 9, can't leave out the back 9. Another place we like to hang out.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Is that Brian Freeze?
Yep, that's Freezy.
Hey Brian.
Yep, Freezy's jumped on here. What's your favorite place in Europe? Like you said, you really liked Italy. I mean, we haven't been to much. I mean, we did. My wife's more traveled than I am, but I did Barcelona, Madrid, Vienna. And I'm gonna mess up the next one. Like I can't remember the other one, and it was actually one of my favorites.
Yeah.
They filmed some of the Game of Thrones stuff there.
Oh,
maybe
cool.
My wife can jump on and
I'd like to go to. I mean, I love Italy, but I'd like to go see. Go to Scotland and Ireland. I'd like to go see that part of the country. We've been going to Cabo recently. Cabo's fun. We have great friends.
We've banned Cabo from our travel list for a little while.
Yeah. Oh, you have?
Yeah, we've been 3 times in the last 2 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But we love Cabo.
Cabo's
a great place.
Cabo's a lot of fun. Great place.
You got to stay at the right place, though. You don't want to like...
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not... If you really want to be in the ocean, Cabo's not
the place to go.
Riptide's too much.
No.
You can walk the beach, but you want to get a really nice resort with a good
swimming pool place.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we good friends of ours have a place, the Grahams, and they were very blessed. Unfortunately, they invited us to come. I don't know why, but probably because I let Steve win at bocce ball every time we go.
Ah.
So he's not on here, so he won't know. But they've got a great place in Portaventuras, which is right between Tulum and Playa. And
I haven't
right
been
on the
to
ocean.
Tulum. I've heard Tulum is
Tulum
awesome.
is hopping right now. They actually built an airport right in Tulum.
Really?
You can fly in. I don't know if it's open for international yet, but it will be. But Tulum the infrastructure is not as built as from what I've heard.
Okay.
So the traffic's pretty crazy.
Okay.
And you get stuck on that one strip. But
yeah.
Where we go in Portaventuras is beautiful. It's great. We have a really good time. It's relaxing. Play bocce ball all day.
I've never played bocce ball.
Really?
No.
Oh, we need to. It's an Italian thing. Come on.
Well, no. My wife's cousins have a bocce ball court in the backyard. I've seen them play it.
It's the Italian version of cornhole.
All right, that makes sense.
Okay.
I've just seen the court. And I see the balls.
It was probably invented about 3 million years ago.
Yeah. Cavemen rolling stones at each other. Like, yeah, it sounds about right.
You win. Yeah. So, and then we go to, very blessed, my mom invites us to go to Hawaii. Kauai, the small island.
Okay.
And she has timeshares there, and she invites us to come with her, and it's great. We enjoy it. It's a great family
I haven't been
time.
to Kauai yet. My little brother lives in Maui. So
really?
I went to Maui for the first time this time last year.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
It's awesome.
The islands are incredible. They are.
And I'm really glad I got to see Lahaina like right before it burned down.
Yeah.
Like, cause whatever that tree, I can't remember what it's called, like a Bonnie tree or something. Bonnie tree. I'm butchering this, but someone will correct me, I'm sure. But that village there in Lahaina where the trees are, and like they're like 150 years old or something like that. So
insane.
That's going to take a long. I mean, not in our lifetime will we see that fully come back. So.
There's one in Honolulu, and there's a hotel there. We stayed there. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, and the hotel's almost built around this tree. It's so freaking big. It's huge.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and it's an old hotel that's historic, right there in Honolulu, right on the strip of the beach. beautiful. But Kauai, I can't say. If you're going to go to Hawaii, go to Kauai. It's the Garden Island. It's where they made Jurassic Park. It's where they made Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay.
It's where all those movies are shot. It's just absolutely beautiful.
That makes sense.
You can't build they have a regulation on the island where you can't build a building taller than the tallest palm tree on the island.
Okay.
So it just really keeps all the development to a minimum.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be honest, like I was a little disappointed with Maui at first. Just because it's not what you expect going to an island. Like, I think what everybody sees in pictures and movies is what you're talking about. They see Kauai and stuff like that. Maui's not completely like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's way more developed, but not, I don't want to call it developed because it's still
commercialized.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But like, as soon as I did the trip with my brother and did the road to Hana, all right.
Yeah.
Now we're talking. Like, this is what I had pictured all of the islands in Hawaii to look like.
Yeah.
Like, that was the experience I expected. So that changed it for me. And, like, same thing, we went to the observatory way up on top of that mountain up there.
Oh, yeah.
That was insane.
Beautiful.
Cloud cover, but the sunset was still pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's Kauai's one of our, and the people are so true to themselves, and to the island, and you know they have, they've become part of our family. I mean, they come.
Yeah.
We see them every year we go, and they like are part of our family. We barbecue together. It's I mean, Abigail, my daughter, has been going since I think when they first started taking her. She was 9, and she's 24 now. So all the locals, some of the best volleyball players, because she was a competitive volleyball player for Skyline, Excel, and different clubs.
Okay.
So she's very good at volleyball, and they always want her to play in the 2-on-2 sand volleyball. And they're locals. They're people that live there.
How did I not know this? Like, we need to recruit her for the Element team for volleyball.
I think
because I'm tired of getting my ass.
She better be on the Chadwell.
I'm tired of getting
team.
my ass kicked at the apartment association volleyball tournament every year by like the Megan Smiths of the world that all played college volleyball and are in like college volleyball Hall of Fames and stuff.
Is it Megan's birthday like yesterday or today?
It was real recent. I know it was just in the last couple of days.
Happy birthday, Megan.
Yeah, happy birthday, Megan. But yeah, they bring out, and then these other people bring like professional volleyball players that are like all yoked out and like spiking on everybody. I'm like, this sucks.
Lincoln did that for a couple of years.
Oh yeah.
They hired like all these leasing agents.
Yeah.
That were 6'3".
6'3". Even the girls were like 6 foot tall, and like they were just like dominating
destroyed
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was brutal.
Well, we'll have to get together and recruit. There's been one company it's like a countertop company that's been killing it every year for the last 2 years. I forget who it is.
Was it MFI?
No. It's one. I forget who it is.
Okay. Yeah. There's a couple of them.
Everybody up.
Yeah.
But we'll have to get together and start recruiting.
So do you think? I don't want to go too deep on this, but
go deep.
So from your travels, though, you know, like I found the same thing in Vienna and stuff like that. Like when we were in, or even Barcelona, like you could just be having some tapas and stuff and some sangria with your family and stuff, and you're sitting there having a good time, and everybody is just so laid back and treats everybody like a human being.
Yeah.
Like they're genuinely nice. Like, hey, I hope you and your family have a really great day while you're here today, and you know, I hope you enjoy the weather. You know, like we're having beautiful weather right now, and you have a beautiful family, and you know, like really hope you have a great day. And then they just walk on and go about their own business.
Yeah.
You know, like I find like the more I travel, like a lot of the other countries, like people treat each other a lot more like humans.
Yes.
I feel like the United States is getting really far away from that. Like we want to put everybody into some kind of category, and it's about, are you left wing or right wing, and like, are you this, are you that, are you gay, are you straight, are you this?
So you're just a person.
Can you just be a human being? Yeah. And like, can we get away from trying to like tie ourselves to some kind of boxed in identity and like putting everybody against each other. Like, I don't know. Do you get that feeling when you travel though? Like some of these other places, like Hawaii, it's islands. Like they're isolated. Like, and they're really protective of their culture and their identity, and
very much
so. Like, I get it though. When you're there, you're like, all right, I get it. I'd want to be protected of this too, because you don't have this everywhere.
And there's
anymore.
no judgment.
No, they're just like, have a good day. Or here, we want you to experience this. You should go check out this. Like, they're just super accommodating, and like, you hear about all these really bad experiences. Yeah. But I haven't had those. Like, I mean, I've been in a couple situations where I was a little uncomfortable, but like, more so because we put ourselves in a bad situation. Yeah. Didn't know, weren't as educated as we should have been on something. But in general, I find that like, other countries are way more open and just, I don't know, a little friendlier, a little less segregated into like putting people in boxes.
I think that's probably it. Yeah, it's just they're less segregated and they're, they're less influenced by things around them and the circumstances around them, and focus on family and the right things and and they've been, I think, truly believe is people in society are they're from what they're come from their circumstances around them.
Slide that mic a little bit more into you right now. Now that this like hail is beating down the roast, let's hope that
we got a tornado and hail coming in right now, I think. Yeah. But you're a product of your environment. I'm a true believer you're a product of your environment. Yeah. The people you're around, you become, that's where you learn things, and if you're surrounded by people that are like that and have those true values of treat people well, treat people equally, treat people with respect, and, and you don't judge people on anything for unless what they give you, and, you let people earn, what they earn depending on who they are or where they come from, but what they are. Yeah. And but everybody has a choice to be like you want to be. Yeah. If you want to be a nice person and really treat people with respect, people are going to treat you well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm sure you get asked this a lot too lately. Like, what is your outlook and your opinion on the current state of the multifamily industry?
It's crazy right now. It's tough. It's the interest rates have affect a lot of things. So there's, there's that section of the environment, with the building and the cost of a new home for a new home buyer is kind of going way up. So it's not as realistic. There's still, with this market where we are in Texas, and it depends on the market you're in. Right. I mean, we're a pretty strong market in Texas. A lot of people want to live in Texas. Yeah. For obvious reasons. But we still keep building, which is good. Have so many people moving here. I think this market's going to be strong. I think it's going to recover good. We're having we should have fallen off even quicker, but I think it's going to be a little bit of a soft landing, and I've already seen.
We got touch and go.
Yeah, I've already seen a lot of people already starting to reinvest, and the people investing and upgrading. A lot of that's still going on, and people are being smart with their money. They're just being a little tighter with their money to kind of get through it.
So what would your advice be to somebody in multifamily and sales, no matter what they're selling, of how to navigate that? Because, I mean, this feels a lot like 2008 to me when I first started.
Yeah, I've been through it.
So we've been through it, and usually multifamily, I think, is a 10-year cycle. Yeah. We've been on like a 12-year or so that it's just been straight skyrocketing. And then last year it started to nosedive. Yeah.
And which they said it was going to come eventually, and it has.
Yeah, and it did, and I think it's kind of leveling out a little bit now. That's my opinion.
It is.
That it leveled out a little bit. You're starting to see people that, like I think too, tightening up a little bit, but wait and see what happens with elections and interest rates and stuff. But all the transferring of properties and picking up new portfolios, that was like non-existent last year. Like, there wasn't a lot of the movement, and people that were buying properties were just parking tax money and weren't really financing rehabs and upgrades and new amenities and stuff like that.
Exactly.
I'm seeing a little bit of that picking back up now.
It is. Yeah, it is.
But I mean, it's still pretty down. But
just got to be. I mean, there's still assets out there that were, done on arms that have been readjusted, and then their mortgage has gone way up, and they're underwater. They can't freaking pay their bills. My advice would just be to just keep a keen eye on your AR, and make sure your lease is not way long on people that.
When you say AR, what do you refer to?
There's an old saying, boy, they really want to do business with me. They're dying to do business with me. And there might be a reason behind that.
Yeah.
That it's like they really want, it may be because they've been shut off everywhere else because they're not paying their bills.
Yeah.
So just be, do a little research and make sure you're doing business with the right people. Because there are people out there right now that are hurting. Because
and there are sharks out there.
And there are sharks out there that, I've been very fortunate in my career where I've developed a lot of really strong relationships where a lot of my good customers, they'll tell me up front, hey, we're not going to, don't sell me anything unless we give you a check.
Yeah.
Let us, make us prepay, because they're, but you got to develop those relationships over time.
I think even with your fellow vendors that maybe not in your straight up segment or something, like I really reach out and talk to a lot of guys like you or, other vendors like my painting vendors and stuff like that, that I tell new salespeople and stuff all the time, like, build those relationships because you can gain knowledge from there too. Like Absolutely. My paint guys, hey, I need some more good painters. Who's somebody you'd recommend? And then someone like a James Giddens or a Randy Rivers that have been in the game a long time, or a Mario. Yeah. I also reach out to them too. If somebody does call us through the vendor guide or it's somebody I'm not as familiar with, don't just jump at it because you're so hungry for the opportunity.
Exactly.
Like you said, do your due diligence as well.
Yep.
Because they may only be hungry because they've been cut off everywhere else.
Yep.
Or you might just be their fifth bid.
That's true.
And that's fine, and you can still build relationships from that, but know what you're getting yourself into because somebody's done business with them before.
Yep.
It's a big industry, but it's still a small world.
Yes, it is.
So like I do a lot of that too, where I'll make those phone calls and be like, hey, so what do you know about so-and-so? And if you get that big, you already know what's coming.
Oh, yeah.
They don't pay their bills or something of that nature. They're going to run you through the mill.
So let's talk about how our industry is different than any other industry.
All right.
So 2 things that come to mind to me is number one, and we've been started to touch on it and already start talking about it.
Yeah.
Is even though we're competitors, or you may be working with someone that's, you mentioned Randy Rivers and James Giddens. Mm-hmm. Both of those guys are great friends of mine.
Yep.
Love them both to death. I just spent a lot of time with James when we were in Savannah doing an event.
The big NAA thing?
No, it was like one management company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people flew off this week because it was the big...
but both great guys.
Yeah.
And even though when I was with Bear, I competed against James and I are still friends.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I mean, there's things we can't talk about.
Yeah.
But I think our industry is so unique because in other industries people wouldn't do that and wouldn't have those type of relationships when they're competitors.
I've told this story. I told this story last week, I think, on the show. If not the week, no, it was the week before. I have a very good client and friend that is one of my top friends, and he worked at a competitor of mine. And we would go out to a certain client's property, and we all knew that there was us 3 were going to be bidding everything. And him and I got to the point where it's like, man, we're going to be walking this damn property all week, or at least 2 days. And him and I built enough of a relationship that I told him, I was like, you want to be out here all week? And he's like, nah, me neither. I was like, cool. How about we split this up? we both know it's going to come down to the relationship and which one of us has gotten the last job or whatever. He's going to keep it pretty balanced between us. So how about I go walk buildings 1 through 10, you go walk 11 through 20, then we'll go back, we'll run down to FedEx or Kinko's, copy our notes, and then we're only here for half a day and we can keep moving on. And then the scopes are apples to apples because we're writing it up the same way we were just told to write it up.
Yep.
Saves both of us time. Man, we did that for so long it wasn't even funny. And it was really funny because by the time we get done pricing out,
very close.
And he'd be calling us going, man, are you two in cahoots? Like, you guys are doing this shit to, you know, how are you guys like $1,000 off? You probably know who I'm talking about just by the voice I just did. And we're like, no, man, I mean, I don't know, man.
Technically not price fixing.
No, I mean, we weren't. I mean, we made our scopes right. I mean, there wasn't a big discrepancy of, you know, whose scope, because he walked half of it, I walked half of it. You know, you got the same thing as copy this scope and submit the bid.
Exactly.
I mean, we're all going to price it, and then it comes out. Like, that's ideally what they want. They want the bids to be as identical as possible.
Exactly.
So we did that, and I mean,
and you never pick the really, really low bid because you know they forgot something. Or
again,
something.
Even though we did that, our prices are still going to vary. Yeah. You know, we both got different overheads and stuff like that. You know, we were a smaller company than they were, so our overhead's a little lower than theirs. You know, but it all kind of washes out in the end. And, you know, to this day, he's a client of mine now because he jumped over to the other side. And we've had that relationship for, 15 years now. And same thing, too. I mean, you kind of get to know who you respect even within your field. Like you just said, you know, even when you were with Bear Paint. You still, even though you were competing with James, you still had a mutual respect. You knew what the powerhouse Sherwin-Williams was.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, you knew you were going to get your shot. He's going to get his shot. He's going to win more times than you are, but still was what it was.
We were just scratching away trying to get more of it.
And same thing in mine. I mean, I'm good friends with Jared Adams, you know, like, and he's...
And Jared's the beast.
Tim Gibbs at FTK, you know, like, Tim and I have been good friends for a long time, you know. Like, you know, when you see these guys and you're out there bidding with them all the time, I mean... You want it to be miserable when you're walking around with them and like, oh, I hate them, you know, those guys are crap, you know, or whatever. Like, what good's that going to do you?
Oh, yeah.
It's going to make your job miserable because you're going to be out there walking with these guys every time. You're going to see them at every event you go to. You're going to see them at every trade show, every council. There's going to be some representative from them. So to me, it's like, friends. Make relationships. And, you know, that paid off for me too because there was a time where FTK had been going after condo associations, and we're doing a lot of condo work. And Tim built some great relationships in that.
Have you done any of that?
Well, yeah, we've done some of that, and you know, it's not something we chase down, but excuse me. Tim, I guess something happened with FTK to where like their insurance, whatever, told them we don't want you going after condo stuff anymore.
Yeah.
And they changed their direction a little bit. Well, Tim still had these great leads, and he didn't want them just going to somebody crappy. He still wanted his client that had that part of their portfolio. He's like, now, you know, don't be chasing him for his other stuff, but, you know, hey, he's got this condo thing over here that they're a part of, and they need someone good to help him out. So he'd call me, bring me in, gave me warm introductions. My competitor.
That's nice.
And, you know, we've done things like that trade off, and there's been things that I've had to call Tim and be like, "Hey, man, I can't.
You're too busy.
I can't deal with this. Like, and I don't want my client getting somebody bad. I'd rather, you know, if I can't deal with this, I mean, can you take care of him?" And we've done that back and forth over the years. So I mean, there's no real advantage to make an enemy or not build a relationship with your competitors. You're still going to learn a lot, and you're still going to build relationships.
Yeah.
And again, who builds the better relationship? Because a lot of times that's what it comes down to at the end of the day.
Exactly.
It ain't always price. I mean, there are portfolios that are very price driven, but that's not what it always is.
No. Our businesses, our industry is a very relational, relationship business and industry.
Yeah. But that's been I mean, I try to network with those guys. I mean, like I owe James, I've said this before too, I owe James Giddens a lot. I mean, he really helped me when I was first coming into this industry, from the time I was John's estimator all the way to like working my way into the sales position that I have now. I mean,
and you guys have grown a lot. Huh?
Yeah. I mean,
I love your owner, by the way.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah, John and Bill are good dudes.
Yeah. I mean, you're in a good spot. You really are.
I mean, I've been here 16 years. It's a family, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not a huge company, but we're a good sized company.
But they're great people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've all worked together for a really long time. I mean, I've known John since I was 18 years old. I mean, his wife gave me my first real job in the insurance world, pulled me out of the mailroom and made me a claims assistant, all the way to teaching me how to be an adjuster.
How many guys in construction come from insurance business?
A lot.
Yeah. And it's because of the estimating?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
a real good way to learn.
Some of the best guys I've known.
Yeah, it's because now they train you and teach you how to be an estimate. If you're a field adjuster or a claims adjuster of different caliber, I mean, they have inside adjusters, outside adjusters. If you're an outside adjuster or one that handled outside stuff, and you know how to write an exactament when they get those big insurance losses, you already have that background. And a house is not much different than an apartment.
Sure.
It's a bunch of little mini houses.
It's a bunch of mini houses
put together. I mean, it's the same construction, same methods, same materials. So, I mean, it's a good background for that. The hardest thing of transitioning somebody from insurance to the construction world is teaching them the difference between an A property, a B property, a C property, and teaching them to have the conversation with a client and understand the client management or ownership's vision for what they're trying to do. Are we just making this get by? And yeah, we're good. Making this get by? Are we just putting Band-Aid or lipstick on a pig here? Or are we trying to take this from a C to a B?
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing to teach somebody, because in the insurance world, if they called in and said, I just had a hail claim.
Yeah.
Everything that is damaged that you can justify that is damaged by hail, you're replacing.
Yeah.
I remember Brian Freese is on here. Hunter's Glen was like the first property that John sent me out to and said, we're doing a carpentry and paint out here. Walk it. Didn't give me a whole lot more than that. I wrote up every piece of rotted wood on that property for a week. By Friday, John's calling me and going, what the hell are you doing? Like, you've not turned anything in yet. I was like, bro, do you know how big this property is? And you said write up all the rotted wood. Like, I'm going to town out here, bro. I was like, and it's going to take me 2 or 3 days to type this all up. Well, I come back in and start typing it all up. And John, when I turned it into him, he just looked at me. He's like, are you out of your mind? He's like, we will never get one of these jobs. He's like, why don't you just write a full Hardy? It would have been easier. And I'm like, you didn't tell me to do that. You told me to write up the rotted wood. You didn't say, like, this is okay. Yeah. We're going to do the really bad. Like, this is still okay. This has life. This can be scraped and painted. He didn't explain those differences to me.
Yeah.
And me coming from the insurance world, all right, it's rotted or damaged, or I don't think that can be scraped and painted. I mean, I just literally wrote up everything. I mean, I wrote a damn estimate that was probably that thick. I mean, it had to be 100 pages just on carpentry. And John about fell out of his seat. He's like, all right, we got to cut this way back. So he goes out with me now. We walked that damn thing in like 2/3 of a day.
He's like,
nope. He's just redlining the shit out of my estimate. And like, but that's how I learned, and like, that's the hardest thing to teach.
This level of property. This level of property is different.
Well,
this level of property
they
is
were
different.
trying,
A, B, C, or D, just a different.
But John knew also
expectations.
Well, and he also knew the budget, and he knew in his head the way Brian does. Like, Brian is freaking Rain Man.
Yeah.
Brian will walk out and he'll throw out a number or some shit, and I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, he's either dead on or within a really small margin. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. But he's been doing it.
But John, but how do you teach someone that?
Yeah.
That's like the hardest thing to teach them. Like, you have to do that, because John if Brian told John, like, hey, we're roughly, we're going to spend $200,000 on this carpentry and paint.
Yeah.
Well, to John, he looks at it and goes, all right, the paint job's going to be $115,000. That gives us like $85,000 for carpentry. He knows what that means to him when he's walking it, and he goes and picks those things up, and that's how we create the scope. But until you get that kind of experience under your belt, you got to really be careful how you teach a young estimator or sales guy, and you got to teach them to ask the right questions. You know, like if you don't know what that client/owner's expectation is of that project, you're pissing in the wind.
Yeah. Of course.
Because you could write up everything, or you could write up not enough or too much. I mean, you got to know those things.
Yeah. Or the value.
Mm-hmm.
The value of what that asset is.
Mm-hmm. And again, is this a long-term hold?
Yeah.
Is this a, hey, we're about to flip this?
2 years? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What was your other question? You said you had 2 questions that we touched on with multifamily.
Multifamily. Well, it is, I've had someone, the multifamily industry really is, they enjoy social events. Mm-hmm. They enjoy being together and having, I mean, it is a family.
Yeah.
I mean, multifamily the family's in the name for a reason because it's a big family. Mm-hmm. We all work together to help each other, but we also like to work hard and have fun and play hard. And they, speaking of alcohol,
boom.
Look at that. Timing's everything.
Our man, the delivery team is here.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We, from what I hear of doing, doing a lot of events with the association.
Yeah.
Fundraising events for PAC fundraising, and we're dealing with different facilities, golf tournaments, all different things.
Yeah.
Our industry drinks more than any other industry.
For sure.
By far.
For sure. Go to a golf tournament and let them only have 2 cart girls working the course. Yeah. And you now have an 8-hour round of golf.
So that's one of the those are the 2 big differentiators between our industry and the other industries. Is ours drinks a lot more than anyone else.
Yeah.
Even though people all think they drink more than anybody else. Nothing compares to the multifamily.
And I think that's something you really have to learn. I did not do as good a job of that early on, of watching my alcohol intake.
Yeah.
And,
you got to balance it. You got to
balancing it and learning how to do that too. Like, I mean, I'll sit here with you and drink tequila neat. If I'm at one of these events, I'm not sitting here drinking tequila neat. I'm going to get something else. Like, you got to find something that you can maintain for an extended period of time.
Exactly.
Otherwise,
become a professional.
Yeah, you have to be professional.
Yeah.
For sure. So how have you always bounced that? 'Cause like I said earlier, I didn't do as good a job as this. I'm trying to get more involved with the association stuff again. Because I used to get on committees, the product service counts and all that stuff, and now when I don't show up to an event, I get harassed horribly.
Yeah.
Oh, now you're showing up, or you haven't been at the last
where you been?
Where you been?
Well, it's good to see you.
Yeah, nice of you to show up.
Man, I haven't seen you forever.
Yeah, I was just at, well, you weren't at these other 3 things. I'm like, golly, guys. Like,
it's a balance.
But
it's
how did you find that balance and still do that with your family time, your personal time, work? Because I know for me personally, like, I got to a point there for a while, about 3 or 4 years ago, where our industry was phenomenal. It was booming.
Yeah.
I had a bunch of big accounts, and, they all want to be your number 1 account, and they need to be treated that way.
Yeah.
And you have to figure out that balance.
Yep.
And you have to be able to work that. And to me, at a certain point, I was like, all right, I can either stay and knock this out for them, or I could be going to this committee meeting at 3:00 at, whatever.
Yeah.
And doing this. And then I got to go to 3 more of these in the next 2 months. And then we have the event.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to be there all day. How did you find a way? Because, I mean, you've always stayed really involved. I think I poorly chose. Maybe it wasn't poorly. For me at the time, it wasn't poorly chosen, because it allowed me to still provide that same amount of service to my client. But I also suffered with new relationships and some of those other things because I blew that stuff off. I was like, I just kind of focused on what I had going. But then as those things tighten up and you get into a market like now, you haven't done those things, so you got to participate a little more, and you got to build it. So how have you managed that? Because I feel like you've done that really well over the years.
It's work, a lot of work. You're right, though. Everything you said is absolutely right. I give a lot of credit to my wife. She's been very supportive and understanding, and big part, and understands that that's my third job.
Yeah, might as well.
Very, very transparent.
You got to have that. If your wife does not understand or isn't supportive,
this is part of my job. This is what I do, and it's work. If I'm going to a volleyball tournament, it's work.
Yeah.
I'm going to the golf tournament, and I won't be home because I've got to take clients out afterwards to Boomer Jacks or whatever. It's still work.
And a lot of clients and a lot of people see that. It's just like when you click on social media and you see all the people, you only see the good, the glitz, the glamour. You see them driving the Ferrari. You see them all this and that. You see all the showboatmanship. Yeah. Same thing with sales. How many times what do you do? Golf, fish, and take people out drinking for a living?
That's what my kids thought I did.
Right. How many times have you been accused of that over your career? And it's like...
My kids say, he goes out and hangs out with his friends all day. I don't know what he does.
Takes them to sporting events and concerts and all this stuff. And they see the fun stuff and the rewards of the job.
And they don't see us up at 6 a.m.
Or the behind the scenes
doing the bids or doing
contract
pricing or doing whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
apparently you are like my wife though as well, and you require very little sleep. Are you like one of those vampires as well? Like my wife sleeps
I was
like
younger.
4
when
hours.
when I was younger, not as much. I still got to sleep now, but there was a period of time where I didn't. I can get by with 4 or 5 hours usually.
I cannot. I have never in my life been able to do that.
Yeah. So it's funny because my son's now getting the taste of it. He's like, so we got to go to this TAA thing, right? And I'm like, Yep. He's like, so from what I hear, we have to get up at 7 every morning and go get ready for the booth and get set up and have meetings and then do the booth. And then we got to go to this event. And then after the event, we got to go out to the after event. So we're going to be out till 2 a.m. I'm like, yep. And then we got to get up at 7 the next morning and do it all over again.
Who's he working with?
He works for Precision Appliance.
All right.
Yeah, so
Preston, I'm going to give you a piece of advice. When you go to TAA, do not hang out with your dad or James Giddens, or you're going to be wrecked. James Giddens will have you at Whataburger at 4 o'clock in the morning, and you will hate life the next day. And your dad, I just don't know how he does it. He's always been that
professional. I'm a professional.
Yeah, maybe he can teach you some of the family secrets that he's not going to share with us because I've never been able to do that.
He's going to teach us secrets.
2 o'clock in the morning, I am done skiing, and then I'm paying for it for a while. I'm in bed by 9:30, 10 most nights, if not asleep by then.
You know who the guy that really kicks it in turbo gear at midnight is? Mario Garita. That guy's an animal.
I was just wondering who you were going to go to on that. Mario is a beast. His Super Mario powers come out
midnight, and he turns on the freaking afterburners.
Yeah.
And starts going till 2 or 3 in the morning.
Me and Randy are over there how much longer do we have to do this? All right, when are you sneaking out? I'm sneaking out in 5 minutes. So not before I do. All right, let's both go. We'll go close out the tabs and start them up a new one or something.
So now that we've fooled everybody and make them think we actually work.
Yeah. We try.
This has been fun.
Yeah, man. This is good stuff, man. We got Jaime chiming back in here. Yeah, but Jaime, you have an army of kids. That's not even fair to compare.
He's got a litter.
Yeah. He's got a 5A football team.
He does. So here's a funny thing, a connection with Jaime. So Jaime and I worked together at Bear for quite 5 years or so.
Yeah.
And so Marianne does this. She hooks up after she left Houston's and hooked up with this Western division for their new restaurant company. The main owner, the chef, extremely talented, Robert Quick, his sister and Jaime's wife were sorority sisters.
Oh, wow.
Small world.
I thought you were going to tell me that you helped run Jaime's mayoral campaign or something.
No, but it's what a small world. And Jaime's been Jaime and his wife have been to their house in California and like spent time with their family.
He's going to like 311 shows and all these things.
Yeah, he's a baller. Jaime's a baller.
I know. I want to be like Jaime when I grow up.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got it made.
He's a pretty cool cat.
He's all right. You know, that's funny. When I had Mario and Randy on here, Jaime hopped on, started calling, and I was like, oh, and that was when he was running for mayor in Farmers Branch.
Yeah.
And I used to tease him because his little face plaque signs were all over where I was like driving to go to lunch when I'm leaving my office and stuff. And I used to tell him all these bad things I was going to do to his signs and go move them around and all this stuff. But like Jaime would like come out and like, Randy and Mario were on here, and he got on here, and I was like, "Oh, the mayor's joining us," and they were all like, "Bob Duff's on here," and then that's when I was like, the mayor, got it. Yeah,
he's funny. I love Jaime.
Jaime's great, dude.
We were at our when you first start at Bear, it doesn't matter what your experience is or whatever, you're grouped into a rookie class.
Okay.
So Bear Paint has a great training program. They're an incredible company.
Yeah.
And so they fly you all out, and it's anybody within a certain period of time.
They even do that with their clients.
Yeah. Oh, they bring them out. Yeah.
To Cali.
To Cali.
I got to go on one of those trips. It's nice. Amazing.
Nice. So this is a deal just for the rookie class.
Yeah.
So it's anybody that's hired within a 4-month period with the company or 6 months or whatever, and that from all over the country. And they fly everybody out. Anybody from a new hub rep to a sales rep to national accounts to a manager, whatever. Right. They fly them out to California, and you spend like 5 days out there in classes, and you go to Catalina Island, and it's a big rookie class. But you get to know people from all over the country.
Yeah.
And every national sales meeting after that, all your rookie buddies, you're all friends. You know everybody.
Right.
Well, I'm there talking to my rookie buddies at one of my first national sales meetings, and Jaime sneaks up behind me and just gets real close and puts his head on my shoulder and goes, "Shh, it's okay. Shh, it's okay."
That's definitely a Jaime move right there. For sure. I mean, and did you get to see, I think Mario and Randy's class, they're like still in the black and white photos and stuff because that was in like 1964 or something.
I think Mario's been there 20 plus years.
Mario's been there. They've both been there like almost 25 or
30 years. God.
Yeah. They're legends. To stay with one company that long, like, that's super impressive.
Yeah, it's a great company, though. They're really good people. Matt Wiskowski is their VP.
Yeah.
He's here in North Texas, too. He's a great guy.
Matt's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's a lot of fun to mess with.
Good people. Good product, great product.
Yeah.
Good people. Yeah.
So who do you think is, like, the big up-and-comers right now? Like, who are you seeing really, like, do interesting new things in the industry? Because, I mean, like, valet living's like a amenity for
they're moving a lot of they're moving
what are the new amenities you're seeing? Like, what do you who do you see
they're
really
doing it. They're moving into the turns business a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. So they've been purchasing a lot of the turns companies around the country, and so they're expanding that part of their business a lot, just to where the management companies can outsource it and have a nationwide platform to outsource.
I love that because I hate doing turns.
It's not a fun experience.
It's not fun, and there's no money in it.
No margin.
There's no margin. You got to have all the guys on staff, and you got to do a shit ton of those things really fast.
And the callbacks and everything people want.
You can't have callbacks, or you won't be in business doing turns.
Yeah. So that's a niche that they're really trying to fill. Of course, they're going to have to increase the margins to be able to do it right.
Okay, for us people that don't know, what is a turn?
A turn's like, say you give up your apartment, and now they're going to get it ready to release, where they come in and they like change out the carpet, they paint it, they maybe upgrade the fixtures and
turn
stuff
it
like
for
that.
The next person.
The things that they haven't done while you were in that apartment for 2 or 3 years, you come in and do all the things, change light bulbs, make sure it's ready for the next tenant that's going to come in.
So the person that does this, is this the person that just goes in and kind of sizes the place up, see what needs to be done? Is that the job?
It depends on the management company. It depends on the company. It could be the maintenance guy.
Yeah.
It could be a combination of the maintenance guy and the manager and trying to get a bunch of vendors to do it. But what this company's doing, and there's a lot of companies out there that do it. A lot of construction companies do it. That will they'll turnkey it for you. So you just say, hey, I've got these 3 or 4 units. They need to be turned. You already know what their standards and expectations are. And then they basically outsource it, give it to you, and you've got your painters, you've got your.
Then you project manage that.
And you do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Same thing too. Like maybe,
but you do it quicker because in the multifamily industry, every day that a unit's not leased,
that's money lost.
That's money lost.
Correct.
Yeah.
And they also maybe like they've started upgrading their units, and maybe they've picked out a new appliance package, a new fixture package.
So that way you can update this one.
So the only time they do that is as the unit is turning.
That makes sense.
Then they have this set package, so they'll give you this like pro forma package that like here's all the fixtures. They're with maintenance supply. Here's the package.
Chadwell, what are you talking about?
Or
Chadwell.
Yeah. Here you go, Steve. Yeah. So you get all these packages of whoever their vendor is, and then your bid is usually they supply. That's my biggest problem with doing them. They want to control the supply of the materials, and then you go in and install that and do that. Well, that's why I hate doing them, is because you take away my leverage.
Yep.
Because if you, Biz, own the property, and you have this agreement with Bob from Chadwell to supply all your stuff, and if I don't know Bob and you tell me, hey, Garrett, you're going to come turn these 10 units, you're labor only, I'm going to supply all the materials. Well, then when I get there, all that stuff is supposed to be there in the unit for me to just install. It never works that way.
Unless it's with Chadwell.
Unless it's with Chadwell. There's always something missing.
That's not there, back order, not around. Or
there's always something missing from your package. Well, if I try to call Bob and I don't know Bob's not giving me any priority, and now I've got you,
the property owner,
going, get this done. I need this unit. It's being rented tomorrow, and I'm like, well, call your boy and get this figured out, like, because I don't have these parts I need.
So I just only am going to work with Chadwell then. That's all.
I'm the boy, right, Biz?
Yeah, so you're the guy that's going to come back. I guess you don't never get those phone calls like that because it's always
no. Chadwell does it right. Yeah, fulfill rate is about 100%. We're an inventory management company. We actually inventory. That's a big part of what Chadwell does.
Yeah,
yeah. But I'll come to your office and we can.
Yeah, definitely.
And talk about a program where we can put together for you guys.
That'd be awesome. I'm down anytime to hang out
with you. Rolling in right the sales thing right there.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, we've got a new sales guy too. So I mean, you guys can network there too.
Heck yeah.
You probably know him.
Oh yeah.
You know Brandon.
I know Brandon. Yeah, he's been working out. That guy's freaking. He's muscular now. You see him?
I mean, I didn't know Brandon before, so I mean, I don't know that I have a comparison.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's in shape. I mean, he posts selfies at the gym all the time and stuff like that.
His arms gotten a lot bigger.
Getting yoked in there. I mean, he's single, so I mean,
there you go. That's what happens when you get single. Start going to the gym a lot more.
Yeah, getting all buff and stuff in there. See, Brian Freese is even giving credit. He said Chad Packs is the way to go.
Oh, I love Brian.
So I guess Brian's a Chadwell guy.
Here's to Brian.
Yep. Cheers to the bee freezy. No bee bombs though, thank God.
Yeah, so Chad Pack is another industry term where Chad Pack is where we take all their items for that unit. We pre-count everything. So we go in and count every single outlet for their cover. We count every single door handle, if it's a privacy, if it's a lock, if it's just a passage, lights, everything, and for each unit type. And so when Garrett calls me and says, hey, I need 3 A2s, which is a unit type, and 4 B1s,
whatever,
which 2-bedroom or whatever. We already have the counts, and we ship a pack with everything they need in it, and goes right into the unit.
So when I sell my partners, Bill and John, on that we're going to start doing some more turns possibly, I mean, I have it on record now that Bob said my packs are never going to be short.
And they're always there.
Is on point.
And it's always there.
If we rewind it back, I think we said we strive to be 100% fulfillment rate.
Okay.
Is what the term
I don't have that little flag throw for the replay, call for the replay.
DJ Biz, can you run that back real quick for me?
Let me go ahead and just rewind it real fast.
But yeah, our fulfillment rates are pretty darn high. So,
all right.
But because we'll take that inventory once we know what it is.
Yeah.
And we'll stock it in our branch locally, and then we'll pad it by 30%. So it's not taking away from our normal inventory.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you guys are really good at that. Like, I mean,
I'm not the people who run.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, typically my experience, like, you know, the first one I ever did, and I don't remember who the supplier was, and even if I did, I wouldn't say who it was. But when I first got in with Lincoln, when it was still Lincoln before they were Willowbridge, that was my in. I had to do a bunch of turns on this property where they were struggling, and that was the biggest nightmare on my end because every time some little part was missing that was crucial. I mean, like, I don't have enough doorknobs. You can't turn the units. I can't turn it over. No. And now on my end, I got to do another cost sheet, a change order, or supplement to them again and say, all right, here's another $50 because I had to send my guy back out to install a doorknob.
It's the time.
It's the time. And it's, you know, all the extra work. Like, some people think it's, oh, we'll just call Bob and you get a doorknob. Well, no. Now I got to write up another supplement. I got to do another cost sheet. I got to send it to the client. I got to get approval for it and tell them why they're being charged, even though it was part of the original package. And then explain, you're not being charged for this material because obviously you're supplying it to them. But I've got to send my guy back out who's already checked out of the unit.
What's the favorite thing they like to hear? Change order?
Oh, yeah, they love it. They love it. You know, that's why I use the word supplement a lot more now. Like, that's the thing you learn after a while. This is a supplement, you know, not a change order. It's not. We're not changing anything. This is a supplement. You can approve it or not approve it. It's your choice.
It is what it is.
You tell me.
Oh, God.
Because did I execute what's on my original scope? Yes, I did. But this, if you want this, that's a supplement.
Oh, yeah.
So you gotta learn your words sometime.
Learn the verbiage.
Yeah.
Like Biz says, you got to know the lingo.
Yeah, and don't use the acronyms with everybody.
No.
Well, man, I'm really glad you came and sat down with us. This has been a lot of fun.
It's been a blast.
Yeah. Well, there's two things we end every show with, so now I got to put you on the spot again. Or unless you have any more questions for me.
No, I might think, it depends on what your question is. I might come with something.
You might come back at me with one? I like this. I like this. Feels like I'm sitting with Mario and Randy again, grilling me back. But that's always fun, too. First question. If you could give your children one piece of advice for the rest of their life, what would that piece of advice be?
I've already given it to them. Can I go with that?
Share it with us.
Can I go with that? And it's pay off everything you can. Don't get in debt. Pay off everything you can. You know, just live where you're as close to debt free as you can because you're a lot freer. You
absolutely.
You know that's if there's any advice that I can give any young person anywhere, you know, is you know, live within your means. You know, there was a guy that I met on an airplane traveling, working. Yeah. I was going to Denver working, and I had traveled so much. I was executive, whatever, platinum. So I got upgraded to first class most of the time, flying back to Dallas, and and I was on the plane next to this guy who was in a Tommy Bahama shirt and shorts, and I'm like, "Can I ask you how you, whatever?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." He started when he was 25 years old, and he learned to live on 25% of what he made. And
that's awesome.
And the rest of it, he reinvested back into his businesses and what he did. And the guy owned. Are you familiar with Breckenridge, Colorado?
Yeah.
Okay. When you turn to go to Breckenridge, there's a little town right there called I think it's Frisco or something. But it's a little town right there.
Where they have like the ice skating rink and all that?
Yeah, it's like a town right when you go to Breckenridge. Yeah. So he owned a whole street of businesses.
Holy cow.
But he started when he was 25 years old and just was smart about reinvesting everything and got people to help him. And he worked, I think, until he was 35. 40, and he retired.
That's amazing.
But because he learned to live on 25%, that's like way hard to do. That's way hard to do.
Yeah,
But if you can learn to live on, 50% of what you make, and just don't and reinvest that money in a safe place, and always have money available. And then if you're not spending, if you don't have a huge house payment, and if you don't have a car payment, you can go on a nice trip.
Well, how have you looked at investing? Like, how have you taught your kids, or how have you looked at that? How have you educated yourself on investing?
Really not. Like, I try not, never, don't have credit card debt, pay off my credit cards every month, pay my credit cards off.
Yeah.
And I've got a low house payment because I've lived in that same house, and houses are crazy right now.
Yeah.
I had my truck for I just bought a new car, but I had my truck paid off for 5 years. But you just try to live within your means. I don't always take my own advice, but
yeah,
I'm doing good. I'm doing all right. But, I'd want them to do better. Of course, you want your kids to do better than you did. But that would be the biggest advice.
I just remembered something I have not touched on yet that I definitely need to ask you. Oh, and Randy says, looking good, Bobby D.
I love you, Randy.
Yeah. Now you get on here and start chiming in, Randy. Where have you been? You're supposed to be on here giving him hell for a while. I want to know how you know my new buddy that I had on here not too long ago, because when he asked me how I knew you, my first question was, wait a minute, how do you know Bob Duff? Because you're not in multifamily, and I can't picture you doing this.
I'm scared.
How do you know Josh Strasberg?
Oh, my God.
My boy, Jesus in Jiu-Jitsu. I hear you guys are pretty tight. I hear you even, helped him move equipment from his gym to his new gym.
I did.
In the Colony.
Where did you run into him?
Hey, man, I know people. That's my job, is to know people.
So
Josh is a great dude, and we've become fast friends. He's a guy that one of my buddies in the bourbon world introduced me to, and he came and did a podcast with us.
You know his brother, too?
No, I just know Josh.
Yeah. So Marianne and I started kickboxing. You know where the Drunken Donkey is, right? Yeah. Right next door to the Drunken Donkey.
It's damn near just down the street from my house.
Yeah.
I know where he's at.
Yeah, so we started kickboxing when they first opened that place.
Okay.
Yeah, and we got to know him and his brother, and so he opened the Denton location.
Yeah.
And so I helped go lay down the everything and just embrace those guys. They're great guys, brothers.
Very cool dudes.
Great guys from Louisiana, I think, aren't they? Memphis, yeah. Yeah,
Memphis, Tennessee.
They're great guys, and we really supported them, and because we went through whole COVID, everything while we were. And Marianne and I, who's the better kickboxer? My wife is by far. Yeah, I like to think I am, but she's way.
So do you do the jiu-jitsu with him too?
No,
or just kickboxing?
No, just kickboxing.
That's what I said. I said I'll pay money if you send me a video of Bob Duff.
Those guys are
rolling on the mats. I will pay money.
Those guys are badasses.
And he's like, I can't do that to Bob.
No, those guys are badasses. They're really cool.
They're extreme badasses.
Yeah. Their kickboxing gyms are awesome.
Yeah,
they do a great job. I mean, it's very entertaining. It's 45 minutes. You get through. You're never bored. Every 30 seconds, you're changing. Marianne and I absolutely loved going there.
How long have you been doing this?
We changed because we went to something really close to our house now, but we went there for probably 4 years or something. Yeah.
Okay.
And we were, I got to tell you, I was in the best, and this is all to them. I was in the best shape of my life when I was doing kickboxing consistently with them.
Yeah.
And their program, and they made it fun.
Yeah.
They made it a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Music, a bunch of music, and it's every 30 seconds you're doing something different.
Yeah.
You're on the floor, you're using the bag, you're doing, all the different combinations of mountain climbers and sit-ups and push-ups and.
I think I'm gonna try that again before I try jujitsu again. My older brother owns a jujitsu gym, and he hammers me trying to get me in there. Yeah, Randy, I know. I want to see Bob in a gi too. Like, I want to see Josh like choking him out or something. I thought I was gonna get a really good video.
I'll go. Yeah. I'm up for it. I'll do it. I did Taekwondo.
Maybe we'll get my brother. We'll go do a class together at my brother's place or something. Or maybe we'll go do one with Josh.
I did Taekwondo when I was in high school.
Okay.
My best friend was a brown belt.
Yeah, I did Taekwondo for a little while when I was in like junior high, elementary.
Yeah. I'm not as flexible as I used to be.
Oh God, no. That's like my brother tried to gas me.
Like grappling. Like it's fun. It's good. That's good stuff.
It's a hell of a workout, I can tell you that. Yeah. Especially like my brother's place, because
that's so funny that you guys.
It's changed a little bit now because they used to be a little more MMA focused when I first met my older brother.
I don't want anybody hitting me.
Yeah.
I'm not into that.
No, that's what I'm saying. But like these Brazilians and shit, man, they want to train like they're in the jungle, man. It's like 100 degrees in there and you're dying.
Yeah.
But it's changed. It's way more family oriented now. SIA Academy in Plano, they're awesome. I highly recommend it. But yeah.
So who's your brother? Your brother's
my older brother. Yeah.
He's a jiu-jitsu instructor and has a gym?
No, he's not an instructor. He's gonna kill me for this too. He's probably listening too. I think he's a blue belt. I don't know how much of a practicing blue belt he is these days, but he is a blue belt. I'm way more scared of my sister-in-law than my brother, for sure. Like, my sister-in-law is a badass. Like, we were on a family vacation in Aruba, and I woke up in the morning, went down to the beach, and her and two of my nephews are full-on doing jiu-jitsu on the beach.
Oh, so she's a jiu-jitsu.
Oh, yeah, she's from Brazil.
Oh, wow.
She was raised doing this shit. Like, yeah, I'm way more scared of her than my older brother. I mean, I feel like I could get lucky with my brother and like still pull something off, maybe. But like her, no way. Yeah. No way. She'd have me knotted up in 2 seconds.
You blink and they're like behind you.
Oh, yeah.
And you have a pretzel.
For sure. For sure. For sure. Like, that's not even a question.
Okay, so jiu-jitsu in Aruba. That's our next trip.
I'm down.
Woo, I love Aruba. I go just to go.
Aruba's got to get rid of them stupid roundabouts and everything.
That's all they got. I love it.
Up everything.
You don't see any car accidents.
Well, they got to get their airport figured out. Like, their airport sucks.
You just walk out to the plane. There's no...
if you know that if you're like TSA approved, you can walk all the way past that like 5-hour line when you're there 3 hours.
You got global entry?
Yeah.
Just global entry, TSA, and just walk.
But you don't know that because there's no signage. You think you got to get in that one long line.
Oh no! See, luckily when I go to Aruba,
if you don't know, if you know, then you're good.
Well,
but if you don't know, you're screwed.
I'm blessed. When I go to Aruba, I'm always working. So the people from the festival, Sinbad, the comedian, I DJ and do photography for his thing.
He's flying like a private plane and shit.
Yeah, and we actually have a company that walks us through all
that. He's like JSX cruising in.
Have you done that yet?
Yeah. My wife does that.
Yeah. I'm doing it for the first time to go to Vegas this weekend.
Great. JSX
I heard
is great.
It's awesome.
It's cool. You ain't got to go through TSA and all that.
Too. They go to Cabo, too.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And they go to some of the ski resorts, too. I think Vail, or you can fly in with JSX. That's a great...
I can't wait.
Hey, we should be getting like paid for JSX right now.
I know. I need some sponsorships here. Like, these people need to know.
No, Marianne loves the JSX. She's always like...
All right.
Right at the end, flying in.
Well, that's what they told me. Like, so you only have to be there like 15 minutes before your flight.
Oh yeah, Marianne.
Uber to Dallas, Loveville.
Oh, you walk in. Her Marianne's a flight attendant. Because they were using it so much going back and forth to Houston. Knows her and has her cell number, and would text her and say, "Hey, I got your gin and tonic ready for you."
That's next level.
Yeah.
Marion's a bigger baller than
my
Bob.
wife, Marianne Duff, is a baller. She
might even outdo Mario.
She outdoes Mario. Mario would be jealous.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got to wrap it up. So now you get the last question. I had to ask you about the kickboxing though, because that blew.
Oh, that was great. Yeah.
Yeah. And Josh would have killed me if I forgot to like bring that up. So, show's called Common Sense.
Yep.
You get your chance to share Bob Duff common sense with us right now. It could be about anything. Maybe it's something I didn't ask you that you wanted to be asked, or just something, you know, you want to put out there that's Bob's common sense, your 2 cents.
Well, I hope this common sense has been told before, but and I'm repeating it from someone else. But to me, it's like the most common sense thing ever is treat people the way you want to be treated.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Be nice to everyone around you. Get up every day with optimism that it's going to be the best day of your life, and go make it happen. You get out of life what you put into it. And if you get up every day and with, you know, an attitude, this is going to be the best day of my life, and I'm going to help everyone around me get better, and I'm going to treat everyone around me with respect and be nice and just enjoy life.
Absolutely, man. That's great advice. That's great advice.
Good?
Yeah, that's solid. I mean, maybe we should test out what they were telling us to do, Biz. Maybe we should let all the people listening vote on how much common sense they think Bob has. I don't know. I feel like he's got an unfair advantage because half his family's on here.
They're going to go.
Maybe Jaime and Randy will jump in and be like, he's only got like 2 cents.
He's full of crap.
Yeah, he's full of shit. No, but man, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. It's been a lot of fun sitting down with you. We'll have to do it again. We're actually going to do one of these. I talked Bill and John into this, so
really,
they won't come on here. That'll probably never happen. I'm working on them though, but we're gonna try and do some of this out at like TAA. So like this year we've got one of my former NFL friends, financial advisor, come down, former Longhorn, former NFL player, Super Bowl champ, Tony Hills.
Nice.
We're bringing him down. We're gonna have him there in the booth with us. He's gonna talk to people, sign autographs. We're gonna probably have a signed Longhorns jersey of his, give him away
in your booth.
In our booth.
Nice.
So we're gonna bring him down this year, and then next year we're gonna expand our booth a little bit. And when me and Biz are gonna do the podcast there live and let people come around and tell their TAA stories.
Oh, that'd be great.
At there live, and just see what we can capture with it and do it
after the opening party or the pre-opening party.
Yeah, and then we're gonna do our own thing. So we're looking into it right now. We're gonna get we're going to take some clients out for a dinner where you get to come and have dinner with us and Tony Hills, and then we're going to go out afterwards and go have some cigars. We rented a little cigar spot, and We're going to go down there and have some cigars and come hang out with us.
That'll be great.
So it'll be fun. So one last thing I'm going to promote again, just because we're getting closer to it. As you guys have heard me say, I know I've been blowing you up on Facebook with my event requests, but my good friend Naz, who's battling stage 4 cancer, we've got the fundraiser in full effect right now. Mark your calendar, Saturday, March 30th, where you've got Will Call Bar in Deep Ellum locked down. We have bands playing from 4 o'clock to 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Yeah, 4 to 10. We've got Paco Estrada, famous DFW musician, formerly with South FM. He was the lead singer of South FM. He's going to be closing out the show with an acoustic set. We have an amazing silent, and we got Terry coming out to play. His son's band Dream Fever as well is going to be opening up.
When is this?
Saturday, March 30th at Will Call Bar in Deep Ellum.
All right.
We're also going to have a silent auction. If you guys check the event page on Facebook, if you can't be there and you want to donate, you can donate directly off of there to his wife's Venmo. We've got that set up now. We've also got a big silent auction we're putting together that's going to have all kinds of stuff, from gift cards to restaurants to gift baskets to rolfing sessions to a month of jiu-jitsu to...
from your sister-in-law?
Yeah, they've donated stuff. We're going to have a signed guitar from Paco. We're going to have... I've got a Michael Finley basketball that's going to be up there for auction. We've got horseback riding lessons. We've got, VO2 max tests for any of you athletes.
Can Marianne donate a...
Yeah, she's already popping on here. Yeah, so
donate a gift
we're
card?
Going to donate, we'll have gift cards to restaurants, bars. We've got some paintings that are being donated. Some different artists are donating paintings as well. They're going to be there as well. The two that I'm thinking of, Mandy and Steven, They're going to be there to, and they want to meet the people that win their paintings and everything. So
cool.
They're going to deliver them to you if you're the winning bidder. I think we have some sports tickets to some sporting events coming up as well. So it's going to be a big event. We're trying to make it where the auction is online as well, so that if you can't be there, you can bid on that as well. But I'm not sure if that's going to happen in time or not. But that's what we're doing. So mark your calendars. Anybody else that would like to donate or wants any more information about the event, please DM me, reach out, message me, and we'll make that happen. But y'all stay safe, enjoy your weekend, and be safe out there with these storms.
Hopefully we don't have hail damage on our cars when we walk outside.
Just told me front windshield is all cracked and body is pretty much toast straight.
Uh-oh.
My got to replace my roof pretty while the storm was happening, so I never really got hit pretty hard.
Yeah.
8 minutes away.
Oh.
Yeah, and it sounded pretty bad while we were in here. So.
It did. And sirens were going off.
We just got wind and rain.
Oh, we're good here?
There was no hail here.
Oh, good.
There was a little bit. We heard.
I heard something.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a little couple things, but a little around my wife, it looks like, she sent me pictures, it looks like it's snow.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
It was golf ball size.
Marianne, I hope your car was in the garage.
Yeah, I'm going to put the
All right. Well, y'all stay safe out there. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Peace.
Thanks, y'all.